The Insider Gaming app is the fastest, cleanest, and most personalized way to stay connected to the gaming world. Anytime, anywhere. Get all your news in one place with fewer ads, more features, and a design built for how you actually read on your phone. And if that's not enough, unlock Insider Gaming Premium or Premium Plus for ad-free browsing, personalized feeds, weekly subscriber-only podcasts, and so much more. Download the Insider Gaming app today for free on Google Play or the App Store. Hello, everyone, and welcome in. It's Insider Gaming Weekly. I'm staring into your soul, and I'm stealing it. Mike Stry here, joined with me, as always, Grant Taylor-Hill, Tom Henderson, the sickly but here, age of the P, Albert Perkins. See, that's how much he loves you. He is grinding through this shit.
Got to soldier on, baby. You got to soldier on, bro. Absolutely.
How's everybody feeling today? It's Friday, finally.
That's the good thing, that it's Friday. I don't know what happened earlier this afternoon. I was like, man, I don't feel good all of a sudden. It just kind of got progressively worse. Hey, at least it's the weekend. I'll just be resting up and doing jack crap. Feeling better, that's for sure. But the week is good. The week was good, I should say. What about you?
The week was tiring for some of us on the team. Right, Mike?
Oh, I've never had more energy in my life. We'll talk about why in a moment.
Yeah. But I'm good as well. It's been an interesting week for me personally, but I won't get into that. But yeah, I actually have played a game as well, so I don't know if we're going to talk about that.
Maybe
what games we've played, but yeah, I've played a game as well.
Grant, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm well. It's been a busy week. On the subject of games played, it's been a busy week. So I do hope we cover them.
Oh,
Yeah,
a whole game. It was solitaire. No, of course. This is Insider Gaming Weekly, a video game podcast. This week, we are talking PlayStation, Xbox, Marathon, AI in the games media industry, maybe our favorite company in the world as well. We don't know. We got a lot to get to. Of course, we are brought to you every week, as always, by the free Insider Gaming app. Download it today on iOS and Android for the latest gaming news you need to know about in the palm of your hand. Download it, create a free account, get push notifications, get alerts, get custom feeds if you want to sign up for Premium or Premium Plus, exclusive shows, access to everybody on our daily trivia game, which continues to be a talking point in the community Discord and in the company Discord as well. I missed the racing game day, and I was really mad that I missed the racing game day. And
I think that was one of the harder ones as
I
well.
It was.
guarantee I probably would have aced it. All my circle driving.
Well, I mean, like a car's a car, though, right? Like that was the hard thing about it. Like if it's blurry and stuff, a Ferrari in Forza is the same as a Ferrari in
The
Gran
crew,
Turismo.
Yeah. I get it.
Whatever.
But I was so mad I missed it. Don't be like me. Download the app today and join in. But we're gonna start this week. We will get to what we're playing, but I want to start this week with the biggest news that we have ever had. The history of Insider Gaming. The biggest news. And that is,
yeah, man,
I am beautiful.
Right, and that's the end of the podcast.
And
Fake
thank you,
news.
everybody. Find us on
Fake
Apple
news.
Music, Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you get your shows. We'll see you next time. Keep it creamy. And no.
Keep it creamy. What the fuck?
Let me just check the clock. Yeah, 6 minutes in. And we got
There you go. I was gonna say this is very early on, right? Not even 6. I got 4 minutes, man.
It was a good run.
40 seconds.
It was a good run. You're right. But no, the Insider Gaming Showcase was officially announced this week, May 28th, 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, 8 p.m. UK. We are bringing you a look at a number of great games that are either looking for funding, looking for publishing, or both. We have locked in. We have had well over the amount of submissions we've had has blown us away. Submissions are remaining open until March 20th to allow people to get their games and get things ready. I have met over this past 2 weeks since we first started sending the forms and stuff. This week was like 36 meetings. Last week was about 29, 28 meetings. And I have a bunch more scheduled Monday. I have gotten to become the king of pitches, and I have never been more tired in my life. And that's coming with someone with 3 kids. Like it's been fun. But this showcase, we're aiming, if you didn't see the announcement, an hour and a half long showcase of trailer after trailer after trailer, along with auxiliary interviews and deep dives into these games. And some of the games are coming. I want to put it clear. We're not looking at revealing the next Call of Duty, the next Battlefield, the next major AAA blockbuster. You're not going to get an Assassin's Creed clip here. You're not going to get those major types of games. What you are going to get are games with a lot of innovation, some games that look incredibly polished, and a lot of games that come from really, really experienced developers that worked on major products. I know, Grant, how you feel. I know how you feel.
Did any of them work on Titanfall by any chance?
From the creators of this. But when I say some of the games come from people who they weren't just developers, they were decision makers on some of these projects. Like it's tease. So Phil felt that.
Wow, that's an interesting comment. We can't obviously say more.
We can't talk. Yeah, we can't really talk about it. It's not the boxing game.
Yeah,
but that is,
if you like that, then I think you'll like one of the games there. But yeah, I just wanted to weigh in myself as well. I think this showcase is going to be incredibly important for developers, but also the players, in the sense to show them how non-linear the what the hell are you guys doing?
What Fuzzy Muffin said in the chat, saying this feels weird. Yeah, Grant and Albert are looking at each other as opposed to looking away at each other. And I got really, because it's flipped. So I got
because
I was like, let me look at AP. And I looked that way, and I was like, wait, that's not right. He's over there technically, because it's mirrored, isn't it? So I confused the hell out of myself for a second.
Well, I'm glad my heartfelt pitch was ruined by that. But yeah, so on a serious note, I think this is going to be obviously incredibly important for the developers. We're aiming to do some quite unique stuff with the showcase. Obviously, it's going to be back-to-back trailers, as Mike mentioned, and then following the showcase, we're going to have interviews with literally every single developer that showcased their game, followed by a written interview on the website as well, so we can do links to Steam pages for wish lists and all that kind of stuff. We've got big ambitions to try and get 1 million wish lists during the event. And also, I think it's going to be incredibly important as well for the community to be able to see not necessarily how games are made, but to kind of get an understanding of the process, right? We're going to have a section in there that is just going to be full of concept art for games. It's not going to be showing trailers or anything like that. It is solely going to be showing what developers want to make. And in order to make it, they need to find the funding. And I think one of the bigger things that we saw at DICE, right, Mike, is the fact that there isn't any money floating around. Last year was bad, but this year is 10 times worse. And I think as an outlet with an audience, we can do a hell of a lot more to bring awareness and exposure to these games. And there's a few cool things in the works to be able to do that, rather than just like QR codes and backlinks and stuff, and we'll announce that at a later date. But yeah, I mean, if you're interested in supporting, it's not necessarily indie games as well, right? There's going to be a few big games there as well.
We have definitely a few AA titles. I've already locked down. Yeah.
So it's the case of, if you're a fan of the art and the medium of games and making games, then definitely come by, show your support, wishlist as many games that look good to you, and continue to show support for the developers as well. And hopefully we become this little beacon of hope for some of these developers to be able to get their games made. And yeah, we want to, like we said in the announcement, we want to do this every 6 months. We want a new show every 6 months, probably every May and December. And who knows, man, like we could take this a hell of a lot further if things go well. We could have inside the gaming booths at events where we could even feature the games. There's so many things that we can do. But we need the support from everyone.
Yeah, and it's like this first one is going to be the most work we do, guaranteed, because it is the first. But it's already been I'd say a tremendous success with what we've locked in and stuff. And there's more. Like, looking at it, I've only met with half of the submissions.
Yeah. And the submissions have only like ramped up in the past 48 hours. So,
and I do want to thank outlets like 80 Level, Windows Central, Day One, formerly known as Xbox Era, because they covered the showcase on their outlets, and it helps that. And we're working on some partnerships and some cool stuff that, as we get closer over the next month or so, we're gonna divulge publicly.
Yeah. And if you are an outlet or a content creator listening and you want to get involved, then shoot us a message and we'll get you included, because that's one of the things we want to do as well, is not just expose the games to our audience, but also in a sense acts like a PR agency, right? Where after the show or even before the show, we'll be able to facilitate content creators and outlets with interview opportunities with these people, because some of the games are really, really good. Probably a bit of bias saying that, but like fantastic games that could do tremendously well, and we want to be able to facilitate interviews and exposure as well, obviously free of charge and all that kind of nonsense. So yeah, I mean, if you're interested, let us know. And after the show as well, we'll also be sending all of the games to like investors and VCs and all that kind of good stuff. So we're doing a lot. It's a lot to undertake. And also, if you want to become a sponsor, because it is a lot to undertake, send us an email as well.
With that out of the way, and we're going to be talking about this a lot. This is going to become the new Tom's Canceled Games book segment of the show. For a little bit, we're going to be talking, and he still gets a plug from me. We'll still be talking about that, but we do got to move on to everybody's favorite segment, and one that Tom can participate in for once.
Yes.
What have you been playing? What are you doing? Grant, you play the most. Lucky bastard. What you got?
Man. I've been working my fingers to the bone this week for playing games, man. If that makes sense. It's been a big extraction week. A lot's happened in the extraction world. So, Escape from Tarkov, which is, stock standard, right? It's got to be done.
It's okay.
We've had Marathon with the Server Slam. Played a few hours of that, which I think we're talking about that later on. So that'll be good. Insurgency, Red River, which is a PvE extraction shooter. I was playing that because they dropped a 1.3 update, and I was just giving that a little spool through because I last played it when it was like 0.5, and it's leaps and bounds. Like, it's crazy good now. Grey Zone Warfare, because today they just announced their 0.4 update that's coming soon, which they are marketing as literally a whole new game. It's crazy the amount of work they put into it. So I've been playing that.
I'm excited to download that and try and dive in this weekend.
It's one of the best. They've re-identified it a few times. Like, it came out as like an extraction game, and then it was an MMO FPS, and then it was a tactical shooter. Now it's marketed specifically as a PvE first open world tactical shooter, which is perfect because it reads to me really nice. But it's an absolutely phenomenal game, gorgeous visuals, massive world, lots of depth, and it's only just getting started, really. And then Arc Raiders, because Shrouded Sky came out. So I was playing Arc Raiders this week with the new update that they had, which was okay. Where did we all just go? Why did everyone just disappear all at the same time?
Is there like an American outage or something?
Like a global outage in the US? Tom, it's you and me, buddy. So anyway, Arc Raiders, Shrouded Sky. Yeah, Shrouded Sky came out, which wasn't as good as I thought it would be. It wasn't as meaty, but it was good enough. I played a few games. I took advantage, and it's appropriate because I think we're talking about this later on. I took advantage of my subscription services, and I started playing on Game Pass, Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora I've never consumed anything to do with Avatar, none of the films or anything, the games that have come before. So it's like, I didn't know what I was getting into. I didn't know how tall these guys are, man. I was playing that and having a great time. It's like Far Cry, but you're blue. It's great. And then I was playing a couple of games on PS Plus. One's called Season, A Letter to the Future, which is like a really emotional, beautiful take on like the end of the world. And then Echoes of the End, which is a really generic third-person action game it's pretty cool. It's pretty good fun. So huge amount of games, not like to any super depth, but a big scattering of games. But Tom, I'm curious what you've been playing, man, because this is rare that we get to ask you that question.
Yeah, I mean, this is weird though. I'm looking at the Discord and both Mike and Albert have just gone offline.
Weird,
this is
man.
Very weird. Like,
you reckon they're pranking us?
Has it happened? Like, is the
ghost of Phil Spencer just deleted the American internet? Well, I mean, we can carry it.
That is weird. Yeah. So the game
the best two ones here. So
the game that I've been playing, everything crashed. Does that mean we need to start again, Mike? Or
yeah,
I mean, Grant just gonna.
We're still going. We're still spooling.
Yeah, I mean, the game I've been playing, and it'll can't access StreamYard, Discord. Keep going. Okay, cool.
Is it like a AWS outage or something?
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, I've been playing Marathon, which is interesting for me because I'm not really an extraction shooter, and Jack in the comments will definitely attest to that. But yeah, I mean, it's going to segue nicely into the next topic, which I guess can be Marathon if we want to talk about that a little bit, because there's quite a lot of Discord over on Twitter again about a new game. But I'll be honest, I don't find it that bad, to be honest. But I'm interested in your take, Grant, because you are the extraction guy. I mean, for me, what I will say is that I think that the game looks beautiful. Like, I really like the art style of the game. Now that the plagiarism's been all removed, it looks fantastic. Yeah, that we know of, right? But the only negative that I have, I know people do go on about the UI and stuff, but I think that's just something you'll get used to, right? But I think for me, the biggest thing is that they really need to add more players into matches. It felt like the first 3 games I was getting quite a few gunfights, like 2 or 3 per game, and then by the end of the night, I think we played for like 3 or 4 hours. By the end of the night, it was very, very boring. Like, you couldn't even hear other teams shooting, across the map or whatever.
Yeah.
So I feel like they need to double it, to be honest.
These are the flaws that everyone's talking about. So one, like you and Phil say, the UI being, it's hit and miss for some people. Like, there is a lot going on, and they've tried to go like I said that they've tried to do too much too fast. And I feel like when you look at all the challenges, the different runner shells, obviously you've got the maps are massive. You've got all the different weapons. There's like 25 weapons or something. The loot pool, it feels like there's like way too much. And for anyone coming in that is new to the game, which most of them are going to be, or new to extraction shooters or whatever the mechanics, it's so much to learn at once. And because it's a new IP, it's a new universe, kind of. It's all completely fresh, and you've got Bungie trying to be as innovative as possible in every way to stand out from the competitors. It's like they've tried to be so overly unique that you have to learn everything. Extraction shooters that I play are grounded. Like, look at Arc Raiders, look at Escape from Tarkov. You go and pick something up. You're picking up a weapon that you recognize, or you're picking up an item that makes sense. But then you play Marathon, and you have to study everything. You're like, what is this weapon? What is this thing I'm picking up? And nothing makes sense. And it's so there's a tutorial. Okay, that's fine. And then you've got like the introductory missions are really gentle, like kill 5 UESC and then do this one thing. That's great. That's easy. But in general, it's such a confusing game. And what you say about the PvP, agree. Like, completely agree. I got into a fight once per game, and it was 50-50. Either we won and we pushed on, or we died and we left. And there was like it was balanced. Like, the fights were balanced. We gave as good as we got, but it felt like that was it. You ran around the map for 10 minutes, found one team, had that fight, and then that decided the rest of your game. That was it. Yeah. It was nuts. talking in the chat about the stamina heat thing was completely fine. I agreed with that. Yeah, once you got running, it was okay because there's a lot of different skills and points and things you can put into it to adjust some of that. Because I was playing a lot as the destroyer.
There he is.
Destroyer? Yeah, it was destroyer. So I was playing as the one that uses a lot of heat very quickly, like boost jumping and sliding, power sliding and things like that. So I found myself constantly just trudging because my stamina was gone. And then it takes so long for you to cool down straight off the bat. But I can't really. You said about the visuals, graphics are gorgeous. I've never seen a game like it. And if you line that up alongside all the other extraction shooters out there, because God knows there are a lot of them right now, you would pick that one out of it. Your eyes would gravitate to it just because of how it looks. You'd go, what on earth am I looking at? And I found that when I was playing it, the visual, I thought it would grate on me. I thought it was just trying to be gimmicky. And, I've never been a big fan, like Borderlands, for example. I'm not going to write home about Borderlands visuals and stuff, but it's in that kind of vein where it's it's realistic, but it's not. And there's really fine details and granularity, but then there's these big broad color palettes and it's hard to explain, but I like it. And everyone, talking about, I had no performance issues. I had no bugs. I had apart from the server issues that everyone was having, I had no connection issues. I couldn't really fault it. I played it. I had fun. I'm going to buy it. The server slam convinced me to buy it because I'd never played it before that. So I'm going to invest. And I think if they can stick the landing and they can deliver a good roadmap and they can keep creators hooked, because that's how your game succeeds these days, I think it's not going to do as good as Arc Raiders, but it's going to do okay. I think it'll do okay.
Yeah, I think you had a very good point about the number of weapons and all of the
how many times did you pick a weapon up and go, I don't know what ammo this takes, what the fire rate is. It took me ages to realize I could hit the left D-pad and change the optics on them as well. And I was like, I don't know what I've got.
It feels very counterproductive against what they're trying to do, right? They want this game to be appealing to the masses, and it feels like unless they have more in-depth tutorials, which I know, Mike, you're not a fan of, but there needs to be some education about everything a little bit more.
It's tough. It's
and
very
tough. I'm also quite against the contracts, the way that the contracts work, where you can only do one per game. It's very
that blew my mind, man. Because I was sitting there earlier on looking at Escape from Tarkov, and I know you even played Tarkov, Tom, but you get there's hundreds of tasks in Tarkov, and you have them set to specific maps or whatever. And I would look and I'd go, right, I might play on this map. I can do 4 or 5 tasks all at once, and I can just come out with thousands and thousands and thousands of XP. You can't do that in Marathon. The whole one and done thing is weird. I've never seen a thing like that before. Even I was talking about Grey Zone, right? Grey Zone has tweaked its mechanics where you when the game came out, it was you went out, you did a quest, you returned to your base, you handed the quest in. Now they've made it so it's dynamic and you can hand in your quests and pick up new ones whilst you're out in the field. So you can go out for 5 hours and just constantly keep doing mission after mission after mission. It just seems so weird that you're really boxed. But the thing that I do, one of the things that I was singing the praises of the game for this point, the challenge structure, and how it's kind of like COD. You do certain challenges, you get skins and cosmetics and backgrounds and profile backgrounds and things like that. You're incentivized to play everything, every runner, every weapon, every ability, every map. And I like that because then it gives me something to drive to. How to explain, Arc Raiders, for example, I'll get locked into 1 or 2 maps because aside from the rotation of map conditions, there's nothing that really makes me go onto those other maps and play a different way and do whatever, because you don't get much for doing it. But in Destiny, not Destiny, in Marathon, I feel like I wanted to try every runner. I wanted to dip into, we've got Perimeter, Dire Marsh. I wanted to play them both. I wanted to try out as many weapons as I could. I just wanted to soak it all up. But I think that's just how I play. When I play a new game, I want to find out as much as I can about it as quickly as possible, which is a real challenge in Marathon, to be fair.
Yeah, I think overall it's interesting. It's an interesting game. I don't know if it's something I'm going to play for the next 10 years, right? But it might be something that I buy. I'm conscious of the fact that I'm at GDC next week, and by the time I get to play it, everyone will know what they're doing and
that's
how
the
they.
eternal problem. That's the eternal problem. But the premise of it's great. Like for anyone that doesn't know the lore, like I was digging into the backstory of Marathon because this has roots in the mid 90s, which is nuts to think of. This was one of Bungie's first big games. And when you start reading into it, if you like sci-fi, it's so interesting how they came up with all these concepts of like rogue AI. Obviously, it was a big thing. The 80s, the 90s, they were all big on that. Look at things like Terminator and stuff. But they were leaning into these really interesting concepts of like rogue AI and like colony missions going off to other planets and all this stuff. And it was really, I mean, if you look at the gameplay of the old games, we're talking like 30-year-old games now. It doesn't look amazing, admittedly, but the concepts that they've pulled across into this game, like they're still using some of the same characters and it's the same universe effectively. I think the way they've done that is really cool. It's genuinely interesting. Like people look at it and think it's a new IP, but it's not. There's decades of history there, which is nuts to think of how they've done that.
Yeah, because I was the first person who revealed that Bungie was working on Marathon a few years ago, and one of the things that they scrapped, which I actually think could work well with obviously the lore of the game and all that kind of stuff, and maybe like as a hardcore mode, is that they originally had these oxygen canisters that you needed to find around the map to be able to stay alive. I guess like almost like a filter mask in. Do they do those in Tarkov? Like you need to get gas mask filters or something?
No, you're
like
thinking
that?
Metro. You're thinking.
All
Metro.
right, yeah. So something like that, and like I don't know. I think that would have been a cool little thing, but they abandoned it for obvious reasons, right? But I don't know. Maybe that's something they could tap into in the future for a more hardcore game mode or something.
Yeah, that's what Fuzzy's saying about the lore, like the basis for Halo. Like it is, like if you kind of look like at the base level of how it works, like the concepts of what they did in Marathon fed into like Destiny and Halo later on, like the themes of the AI and whatever. But the whole escape will make me God thing. It's like to some it's visually jarring, but I love the aesthetic, like all of like the glitching and the AI and the distortion and how it's all like it's just weird, man. It's so weird. But I've got really I know I say this about a lot of games because I'm generally a really optimistic person with games. I genuinely do hope it does really well, and I hope it's around for a bit, because even if it's not going to be like one of these Arc Raiders games where 6 months after launch there's still like 500,000 current or whatever, I think it's going to get a nice little core following, and it's going to do okay.
I mean, my biggest thing with when you come to that, I wish I could have the optimism, because if a game does well, that means people don't lose their jobs. That's
exactly, yeah. I mean,
Bungie's not as many.
Yeah, Bungie's been through it over the years, right? Like, they've had their fair share of issues, and they almost did with Marathon, with the whole, with lengthy delays and all the scandals and stuff with the art stuff and whatever. But I think this is the right time for it. We always talk about Ubisoft being late to the trends or whatever. I think they've really hit the nail on the head, because the hype for extraction games right now, it's borderline getting fatigue, but I think it's at this nice point where games like Arc Raiders have opened the eyes of so many people to what an extraction game can be like, and the cinematic impact it can have. And, and coming in with Marathon, which, I said, it's complex, but fundamentally it's so accessible. Like you look at it, like visually, you've got map screens, you've got compasses, you've got like markers above your teammates' heads, you've got tips popping up telling you where to go and what to do. That in itself is going to make so many more people want to play it, because I feel like a lot of people, they hear extraction, they still think Escape from Tarkov, and they still think one of the most challenging games ever made. But Marathon and Arc Raiders are doing away with that. They're rewriting the playbook, man. So it's good. I think it's good.
Speaking of what might not be good, whoa, real quick,
NOK.
What currency is that? Is it Vietnam?
Norwegian krona?
Oh, I don't know where I got Vietnam from.
No, no, it's it's Norwegian.
Geography king.
Thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
Any news about GTA 6? Is it still coming out in 2026? What do you think? Keyword think. This is not a report. This is what Tom thinks.
Yeah, I think it's coming out this year.
There you go. Take that to Reddit, boys.
No. I think
someone will. We saw it already happen, but it's 100%. Everything that it just seems like this is happening. I think it's 100%. But everything that's going on, they seem like this is the set time for it to release. Like they don't really. I don't know.
I don't know. Like, I just feel like if they do delay it again, it's not going to be April or May. It's going to be October 2027. Like, that's how my mind thinks of GTA for some reason. But
just give it another year. Oh, it would. People might burn Take-Two to the ground.
Yes, but yeah, I do think it's going to release this year now. But yeah, appreciate the fun.
But yeah, I mean, this is why you have to say content complete. That whole thing about, well, Tom said it wasn't content ready. Or it wasn't content complete, and then the other one says, well, it's content ready. Like, there's a big whole difference between complete and ready. People, idiots. I hate them all.
I saw an interesting video, right? Talking about this is a tangent. I saw an interesting video on, I think it was TikTok or one of them, and a guy was basically saying, like, what would have to be the highest price point for GTA to launch at that you would think, no, I'm not buying it. I'm not spending that much. And literally people in the comments were like, I'll pay $1,000 for it. And it's like, well, there's ceilings and then there's ceilings, right? That's pretty nuts, man. And I was thinking, like, how much would I realistically pay? And I think I was saying, like, I'd top out at like the 200 mark,
just for the base game.
Just for if they come out with something completely ridiculous, like, how much would it have to be to put you off buying GTA 6 on day one?
$70. No, $80.
80.
They raise it even by 10, and it turns me completely off.
No, I think I don't like. I do. It's a difficult one, but I do think like GTA 6 is going to be the pivotal moment when we do now start getting more expensive games.
Shut up, Tom.
Obviously, Microsoft tried it. Welcome back, Albert.
Thank you.
We'll talk about that after this.
Yeah. Microsoft tried it. Then they went back on it. But I feel like, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like GTA 6 is the one now. And we're seeing more and more that the current financial model for games isn't working, and an easier way for them to increase profits, because it is just profits at this point. Like, they don't need the money. They just need to make the shareholders more happy each year. And I think
more like turning their back, saying about the monetization model. I think more are starting to turn away from free to play now. I think, like, so many developers have come out with a free to play game that has bombed completely at launch, Highguard, and they've turned around and, like, there's so many, like Arc Raiders, right? Arc Raiders could have gone free to play, but they didn't, because they recognized they didn't want to push that monetization model. I feel like Marathon could have gone free to play, but didn't. But they release it at a lower price point to make it, accessible, and then they put their little bits and pieces in after. But I feel like so many people are starting to drop away from that now. I feel like if a game comes out and they say, oh, it's a free to play live service game, immediately you're like, I don't trust it, And I think that's going to happen way more now.
Yeah, I think that,
to be honest, they deserves to happen way more now.
Yeah, like the new free to play game is now going to be the $40 price tag.
Yeah,
like it's like we've just seen it with Full Circle, right? With Skate, like that game did tremendously well. I think the predictions are like 20 to 25 million downloads or something stupid like that. But it was a free-to-play game, and they wasn't able to monetize the audience effectively, and they've just had layoffs.
You have 100 million downloads if no one's spending on your platform.
Yeah, it doesn't matter,
You're just
right?
paying more and more to operate these servers to facilitate all these players, and it's not really working, is it?
Yeah. So I definitely think $40 is the new norm, and even at DICE, right? I saw some AAA games, AAA level type of games that was in that $40 price point now rather than 70, which was interesting. But we definitely like, the big franchises and IPs are not going to go away from 70. And again, I think the next level is 80, unless GTA 6 do something spectacular and make the base game 100 with some kind of.
You say spectacular, I say stupid.
We're still going to buy it anyway.
Exactly. Like you think it's stupid, but Literally, they're not going to lose one sale apart from you, Mike.
Yeah.
and
I will break. And I
don't
will
worry,
break
don't worry.
their
I'll buy
hearts.
two. I'll buy two to make
Yeah, right. So they're not going to
there you
lose
go.
any sales. Then.
What your corporations, people.
You
support your
big
corporations.
business son of a bitch. No.
Tycoon.
on that $3 billion they was going to make, they're going to now make an extra 30%, right? So they're going to make
100%.
30. It wouldn't be 30%, would it? It would be, what would it be?
Too much.
40%.
I mean, they have
100.
They have
Math,
so much
anyone
power
help?
right now.
Yeah, 40.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
is why,
so-
in my mind, you need to support smaller titles like the ones you'll be able to find in May at the Insider Gaming Showcase,
Good plug.
airing exclusively
Well
on YouTube and all of our social media channels and things like that. More to come in the coming weeks. We got to keep moving. PlayStation. We're all finally here. PlayStation had a week. A lot of reports. First, there was BluePoint last week, but it was all kind of forgotten about for a bit because of the Xbox news. But BluePoint shutting down. Reports came out today that they had pitched in 2025 a Bloodborne remake, which everybody wanted. Sony was on board, and From Software said no. Thanks, From, you jerks. So that's happening. But the other news that is starting to make the rounds, what might be bigger news, is that PlayStation might be ditching PC for its single-player games again. And to be honest, I get it. And I fully understand it. Everybody's like, well, why would you take it away from the market? And why would you take it away from, from potential players? Well, they already take forever to get their games on there. But also, I think they're thinking of the next Xbox console.
Yep.
The next Xbox console is going to be a Windows machine, basically, have Steam. They don't want their games being played on Xbox because of a loophole with Steam. Like, that's immediately where my mind keeps going.
I was thinking, I mean, that's a very good point. I didn't think of it like that. But I almost thought of it in the sense of the PlayStation 6 will then only be the only console that will do PlayStation exclusives. And because Xbox is going in that direction of a hybrid machine with a PC, then arguably you could say, well, people might buy the Xbox PC hybrid as a PC in essence, right? But then for the console, they'll just get the PlayStation 6. And apart from theorizing on that, maybe it just didn't make sense financially for them to do the ports. I think Spider-Man 2 did well. I think a couple of other games did extremely well for them.
Days Gone, I think, did $1 million. There were a couple others.
Yeah, look at Stellar Blade, right? That was one of the biggest success stories. Stellar Blade launches on PlayStation 5, comes out a year later on PC, and hits 1 million sales 19 times faster on PC than PlayStation.
Well, that's because people are like,
Because of the
PC,
mods.
we can. Yep.
Because of the mods, brother.
You knew where I was going,
That's what
buddy.
it is. Yep.
The
There
smut.
it is. Yes.
I think the report is as well that they're scaling back. It's not going to be all games, right? So, I mean, Stellar Blade
they said their
is coming
multiplayer
to
games are
PC.
likely.
Lock it in.
Their multiplayer games are still coming. It was specifically mentioned their single player games. And BR, we see your super chat. I will get to that momentarily. We are in a point and this is my put on my hat, old timer boomer mentality. I still will stand up and scream exclusives matter.
Yeah,
And-
agreed.
And
yeah.
I think PlayStation had seen, sure, it's on PC, but they could probably still sell a few more systems, especially if the PS6 isn't coming out until 29 or 30, maybe. You pull back your single player games from releasing on console. Well, now you're forcing them, or not console, PC. Now you're like, well, now, the next PlayStation's not coming out for 4 more years. I guess I'll get a PS5.
Yeah.
And makes sense.
With their goal.
Look, what giveth can be taken away. You know what I mean? I mean, these are Sony's games, right? I mean, it's whatever they want to do. They can do whatever the hell they want. Yeah. So, I always was kind of on the mindset that this wasn't going to be like a forever type of deal for, these games to becoming the PC, and to Mike's point, you make a great point about, with Xbox and everything too. I never thought of it like that as well. That's a really, really great point. And, yeah, like I said, it's what giveth can be taken away. And that's exactly what it looks like that's going down here.
Jerry says there are rumors that Rockstar has already started an early development phase of Red Dead Redemption 3. Could that be true? I mean, it could be true. 100% they've already, who knows how far, probably not far, but 100% they've already had, meetings and whiteboard meetings and figured out early stages of what they want it to look like. But to 2035 is what
I have everything on it. I have the story, the characters. Could you imagine?
Yeah, but I mean, I guess we've got to be a little bit careful of what we say on this. But I mean, it's not. It wouldn't be surprising that they are conceptualizing what the story is and all that kind of stuff. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's in development, because conceptualization is a completely different stage of development. And during that process, they need to then get the game greenlit right by Take-Two. So yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be surprising that they've had a few meetings on it, because I mean, let's face it, they are coming to the end of GTA 6. That team will soon start to dwindle down a little bit after that game's released, and they need to move on to the next thing. So it's just part of development.
With Red Dead, I'd be really surprised if they hadn't even sat down, even like after 2 came out, because we know they were working. What was it? They were working on 2 when they were working on 5, GTA 5. Yeah. So like they cross over. God, they must have thousands and thousands of devs, right? But I would be so surprised if Red Dead Redemption 3 didn't go the way that everyone thought it was going to go, and it went back further, and we saw the origins of the Vandalin gang, and we learned about Dutch and Arthur's earlier days, and how they all came up together, and the events leading up to the Blackwater heist and stuff. Like it writes itself like so clearly, we've obviously been in Red Dead, we've been in 2, we've been at like the end of the Old West and the end of Outlaws and whatnot. We'll go back further to when it was the heyday, when it was the peak. It writes itself, and that is like, if I was a betting man, I would put hard cash down right now that the Red Dead Redemption 3 would be a prequel to the prequel that's 2. We go back even further, and we get like young
here first.
Morgan,
You heard it here first. Grant Taylor Hill reports Red Dead Redemption 3 definitely happening.
But come on, man. There's years of history in the Vandalin.
There's also, there are also rumors. This is just rumor, not a report. There are also rumors that they're working on a new IP that'll come out after. That'll be their next game, but who knows?
Yeah. Because GTA 6 is the last Grand Theft Auto, so they need something to work on.
Yeah.
It is completely the last Grand Theft Auto ever, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the plan. That's what they say. No. But back to PlayStation itself. The leaving. Someone had brought up, I think, Phil brings a good point. With the RAM shortage, PC adoption will go down a bit. So it's better to bet on themselves. And that makes a lot of sense. Like the RAM stuff, this isn't going to get any better. For a long time. This is going to be absolutely brutal for the next 12 to 18 months. Getting people to buy the PlayStation is a lot easier to get access, easier and quicker to get up and running on their games. So might as well.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know, man. Like I just feel like PlayStation is in a little bit of trouble in terms of like their multiplayer strategy as well. I know we're talking about single player, but Horizon Hunters Gathering, that's going to be a free to play game. I think we've all,
and they're doing their server thing the same time, like that decision, trying to cannibalize it.
Well, I think we've written that off to an extent, right? I don't think that's going to do well by any means. We've still got our favorite game yet to release, Fair Game $, by Haven, that
your favorite
completely
game?
Baffling to everyone, is still in development, and I think that a lot of us have already written that off as well. We've got other studios like Media Molecules still working on something, and we don't know what they're working on. So I don't know, like
Dreams, Dreams, they're gonna be something.
So they've got a lot of good single player games, but their multiplayer strategy has gone down the toilet.
That's
and it's because they bet the house on live service, and
how many of those
failed
panned out?
in miserable fashion.
Jeez.
Yeah,
I was going to say that because my PS5, right? I had a PS5 for years now. I mean, go PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3. I have never, to my memory, don't quote me on this because maybe for like an hour or two somewhere for something, I have never played a multiplayer game on a PlayStation console, like ever. I've bought it for stacks of incredible single player titles. I got Arc Raid. When Arc Raiders came out, I fell in love with it and I was like, oh, I'm going to buy it on the PS5 in case I ever want to play it sitting in front of the TV. Never even booted it on the PlayStation. Waste of money. But wow. I don't see the PlayStation as like a multiplayer platform. It might sound weird to say that, but I associate like PlayStation with these killer single player titles like like we talk about Horizon and Spider-Man and for me like Days Gone and The Last of Us and things like that. And that's what I get mine for. I've never bought it to the intention of playing. And I have PS Plus, man, which is weird, but no, I don't see it as a multiplayer console at all.
See, I play, it depends on the game. Like console, when I did play Call of Duty, my console was my Call of Duty machine. It's just how it is. Like obviously sports games, AP's in the same boat on that one. You get your sports games on the console because that's where they are most released there. And there's just more people playing on console. So it just all depends on the game. What was that look for?
What look?
It
wasn't for you. It wasn't for you.
Grant is the most distracting person to look at when you're trying to talk because his head just bubbles. It's like a bobblehead. It's
the ADHD, man. I just can't sit still. Hopping on.
Jeez, Louise. So we have that going on in PlayStation Land, but there's more. And there's one story we're going to get to shortly, too, that really pisses me off. But we got to quickly go back to Xbox and what happened last week. Phil Spencer out, Sarah Bond out, Asha Sharma in. And boy, the reactions. One, we had last week's episode was the most viewed concurrent episode we ever had. So thank you all. We peaked at the highest peak we ever had on the show since we moved live. But everything started to come out over the weekend, like people questioning whether she was replying and using AI in replies. Her answers when talking about exclusivity, and she said, "We hear you," or "I hear you," which don't read too much into that at all. I wouldn't. Though I think they should. I think Xbox should ditch the third party publishing stuff, but they won't. But we saw all these things, and then we see the interview with Jez. And holy shit, the shade and disrespect came. I was going to put up a video yesterday where I gave my thoughts on it. And then halfway through recording it, I said, I'm going to save it for the show. I have talked about ad nauseum how I feel this industry, especially on the media side, is very high schoolish, juvenile, and cliquey in a lot of places. What happened after that Jez interview was the definition of it coming out in the public eye. I respect Kind of Funny and what they do. I respect all of them. Blessing, Greg, everybody there for what they do and what they've built. I respect Jez for what he's done at Windows Central and the career he's built for himself, because Jez has made Windows Central what it is, lack of a better term or phrase. He gets the first interview with Matt Booty and Asha Sharma. And everybody, I thought it was good. It was expected. The answers were exactly what you'd expect from two people in the corporate level at the start with their first interview. And then you have just the bashing, he's nothing but a shill because they went to Windows Central first and blah, blah, blah. And he's just a PR mouthpiece. It's like, you have this issue too, where there is a PR person on these interviews with you. He could have asked certain questions and they just say, we're done. Granted, to some, that's a story in and of itself of going, all right, we're done. They stopped the interview when we started asking about AI and or whatever the question, the hardball question. Would I have asked the same questions he did? No. No one would ask the same exact questions. Otherwise, then this industry gets really boring really fast. Everybody has their own thoughts. But the shade and I don't want to shit talk and then immediately start shit talking Like, we are in such an industry where there's so many like these groups of like, we support these people, but fuck these people because they're getting better scoops. It came across to me as petty jealousy for them not getting it or their friends not getting it. That's all that came across to me was just jealousy of who got the first interview.
Yeah, I mean, on my side, it was just incredibly disappointing. I think, like you said, like, I mean, we've experienced it, right, as an outlet. Let's make no issues about it. We've been to these events and we've experienced like I don't know how you would say it, but like being treated as like this
the black sheep.
Yeah, like the black sheep of the industry, where we've been pushed to the side, and because we don't do things or we didn't do things or whatever, like how we got into the industry or whatever, right? We've just been pushed
you didn't
to
pay
the
your
side.
dues.
So we didn't write articles for $10
the thing is,
or whatever, right?
That's the annoying thing. I did. And then I remember the one time it was like, if you want to make it in this industry, it's like, dude, I've been in it. And when at the time I've been in it 12 years at that point.
Like, yeah. I mean, look, like, I don't give a shit. Like, at the end of the day, if you don't want to speak to me, I won't speak to you. But at the same time, I'll give anyone the benefit of the doubt and I'll work with anyone, right?
Yep.
But from my perspective, I mean, let's be honest, I'm quite new to the industry. I personally have only been in it for 4 or 5 years. People think I've been in it for longer, but when you enter an industry and you go to an event, right, where you're expected, I guess, to be like embraced by your peers, right, for doing reporting or whatever. Like, at the end of the day, lots of people have made lots of money off the scoops that I've made, for example. But when you go to these events and then nobody speaks to you, or like you can see them pointing in a way or whatever, right? Like, it's very disheartening. And again, like, I'll have a drink with anyone and talk to anyone and shoot the shit, about anything. But it was just disappointing to see it come to the public eye, because we've experienced it privately, but to see it publicly is very like it was disgusting, to be honest. And yeah, I just feel like if you're in this industry and you know how Microsoft works, if that was anyone else, if that was a Jason Schreier interview or a IGN interview or whatever, like, they wouldn't have said what they said, because they know how Xbox operates. But because it was Jez and he's perceived as a fanboy or whatever, right, or like however they want to phrase it, it just came across as, like you said, it came across as jealousy, and it was just disappointing. I know that he did apologize to some extent.
He blamed it on his frustration with Xbox and that he took it out on Jez, which was unfair to Jez, which 100% it was. 100% it was. And Jez said Greg Miller reached out to him, so good on Greg for personally reaching out
exactly.
and handling it. Like, they can handle it like adults. It was just like, we are in a situation in the industry, and it's going to transition into our next subject. We are in a state of the industry where things are getting worse and worse, especially on the media side. It's not just the game side, but the media side as well, where we are like, there's that phrase, rising tide lifts all boats. And there are so many people wanting to just anchor certain boats down to where they go under because they view them as lesser than or whatever. Like, it's frustrating. It's so frustrating. And that leads to what happened this week in twofold. So the first thing we're going to talk about is last week I was the first to report about the layoffs at a certain company, ClickOut, where they were letting go. They were basically gutting all of their editorial teams on the sites they own, keeping a very small skeleton crew of what is being determined and called AI editors. And these AI editors are there to handle the AI content that's created. It's really bad. And I have actually an update on that too that I got this afternoon. I was saving for the show as well. But you see that, and then one of them, Video Gamer, put up a Resident Evil Requiem review 2 days before the embargo lift, and it was nothing but AI written. They had things wrong. They had features wrong. You look at the author, the image was in the name of the image, the file
name.
The file name said
ChatGPT
ChatGPT
image.
Even take it.
What was his
And
name? I
leave
can't
it
remember what the guy's. The
I don't know.
And they'd even gone so far as to make him a fake Twitter profile as well.
Yep, with one follower.
Well, yeah, I think I saw
And
that. Yeah.
and the review ended up on Metacritic. Now, to Metacritic and Mark's credit, immediately he sent out an email and said, "This is gone. We do not tolerate AI. We will not have AI content on our site." Deleted it and removed the outlet from the platform. Removed all of their reviews. Because that, whether people want to shit on graded games and review scores, and I've always gone back and forth on it, they still matter to a lot of people, and that altered it. So that was removed. And now in an update I have on that from the Clickout Media stuff, there was a lot of blowback. The former managing editor at Video Gamer was hired on, is assigned to managing AI output as part of a new structure and the restructuring that triggered layoffs. And this is what they're doing. Managing the people who are kept solely to manage AI content. Make sure it goes up. Not even make sure it's right. Just prompt up. A small groups of former staffers have gone out on their own, but the full-timers that are being let go, they're still on the 30-day consultation period right now for a lot of them. But these people who are being kept on, it's literally all of those outlets. It's just AI generated guides, AI generated content, AI generated reviews, where they're not even going to have, from what I know, that you'll see reviews on these sites of games no one's played. No one on the staff has played because there is no staff. We are in such a shit stage with the industry. And now we see Ziff Davis, IGN Entertainment bought all these websites like 2 years ago, GI Biz, VG247, which is a skeleton of itself now, Eurogamer. And now we see Eurogamer seeing layoffs this week. Ziff Davis, IGN Entertainment bought a bunch of their competition. And there's that argument that people make, well, they wouldn't have lasted even this long had they not been purchased. Well, you don't know that. That's just the assumption. But now we're seeing all these other sites get killed. And it's so disheartening as somebody who has been wanting to be a journalist since I was 9 years old. I got into the games media when I was 20. I'm now about to be 36. I've been doing this for almost 2 decades, and I have seen this drop in so many ways where it's disheartening to see. Like, I go every day knowing how lucky we are with what we do at IG and how blessed we are, because it could drop at any moment. Like, we're not ignorant to that fact. It can change tomorrow on the drop of a hat. But we are seeing it where it's more imperative than ever to support the independent outlets you see, because the big ones are just buying up independent outlets and shutting them down. And I don't know, like, it breaks my heart. The whole thing just pisses me off and breaks my heart to where I don't know whether to be more angry or sad. And I know I went on for a while, guys. I apologize.
No, I think like you're right. You know, everyone's getting wiser to it as well. I still think there's this huge thing with AI in the people consuming it, like the end user, the reader, whatever, has just as much disdain for it as we do as journalists, right? Which is weird. Like you see sites resorting to it. Like you're talking about all the different brands out there. Like, and I think another one was The Escapist, wasn't it? Like if you go onto their YouTube channel, it's just shill.
Yeah, they were part of ClickUp Media. They're part of that too. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's all the same, and it's just weird because it doesn't. I mean, I feel like maybe it's like it's working for them on I don't know, this work on some level, right? But there's never going to be a positive reception of it. It's crazy. The other day, there was in the UK, there was this coalition was announced, right? It's called Spur. I had to write down what that means because I can't remember what it is. The Standards for Publisher Usage Rights. And what this is, you've got like 5 or 6 of the biggest news organizations in the UK. So this is the BBC, Sky, Guardian, Telegraph, and the Financial Times. They formed this coalition, which is kind of like, if not fighting back against, but regulating and regulating the use of AI. So they've addressed that across everything, the whole industry, reporting, archives, original content, everything is foundational material for AI systems. It's being scraped, copied, reused. No common standards, no permission, no payment. The economic model that supports journalism is inherently flawed now. Lack of transparency about how AI is putting all this together, eroding public trust, so on and so on. Because at this point, everyone thinks everything is AI, even when it's not. You use M dashes, you're accused of being AI. Like, it's ridiculous. So they've put together this coalition, which is an open coalition. Anyone can get involved in this, and they just want to deliver on a bunch of stuff. So, like, I'm reading off the screen the list that they've put together. So, like, shared industry standards, bridging the gap between publishers and AI developers, original journalism and the sustainability of it. They're looking at technical tools put in place to protect IP and support their creations. And ultimately, it comes down to, like, the top one is like shaping a market that rewards original reporting and supports responsible AI innovation. So it's like they're not all about completely locking out AI, but regulating and making it more responsible how it is being used in a way that keeps journalism a sustainable profession. And this came up, and the feedback around it was really positive because, you know, why would it not be? These are dire times for anyone that, like you say, Mike, you know, we grew up wanting to be journalists, and now this is a time where our bread and butter is being threatened, right? And I saw that, and I was like, that's very interesting. Because I don't feel like there's been much of a drive for anyone in the industry to put something together like that, to say, like, we're making a stand, we're going to officiate this, and anyone can get involved. And we want to, you know, obviously, like SAG-AFTRA and stuff, they fought back from the voice actors' perspective in games, and developers have their strikes against AI and stuff. But, like, from a journalist's perspective, I think that is super important, and that's definitely worth looking at. And earlier on today as well, we're talking about the topics of layoffs. We're talking about topics of AI. Jack Dorsey. I don't know if you guys saw about Jack Dorsey and Block.
Yeah, so, that one pissed. I lost it.
Crazy. So huge fintech firm, huge fintech conglomerate. Headed by one of the guys who created Twitter back in the day. They have laid off 4,000 people, more than 4,000 people out of 10,000 employee base. They have given them, you know, they tried to what's the word, line the casket a bit with this incredible redundancy package, which I have to read because it's so long. If you're impacting the US, you get your salary for 20 weeks plus 1 week per year of tenure, equity vested through the end of May, 6 month healthcare, corporate devices, and $5,000 to put towards your transition if you need it, which is mind blowing, that consideration. But he then went on record as saying that they're laying off these employees because of gains in AI productivity, saying that intelligence tools have changed what it means to build and run a company. Ergo, we're laying off 40% of our 10,000 employees.
Yeah, I was going to say, go ahead and tell them how many employees that is.
And that is just insane to think, like, package or not. That's crazy.
My favorite part was they started that stupid statement with, this was the hardest decision we've ever had to make. Piss off. No, it wasn't.
No. And that you think of the ramifications of that. We saw it with Microsoft, for example, when that many people at once become jobless, like, the market implodes. Like when Microsoft makes 5, 6, however many thousand it was layoffs at one point, and every single one of those people is now scrabbling for a job. It doesn't even bear thinking about how difficult it's going to be for any of those guys to get employed. Just because of the sheer saturation of the unemployment now. It's crazy, man. Yeah, something like that is nuts.
It's very 2008 vibes.
It is crazy.
But back to, like, our end, like, it's just, again, support the independent outlets. Like, there are so many great people. Like, obviously, there's us. My kid's throwing something down the stairs. It's great.
What the hell was that? That sounded like a Reaper or something,
going
man.
by. Yeah, what was that? Motorcycle or something?
But, like,
invasion.
We see it. There's so many outlets. Obviously, there's ours. You should support ours more than anybody because we're great and you're here. And we appreciate every single one of you who watch every week. But there are other great outlets. Shout out Day One. Like, they do great work. Even though they're Xbox shills, but my favorite joke to make is that they went third party They followed Microsoft's footsteps and went third party.
What if Asher like makes Xbox like go back to exclusivity? Do you reckon they'll revert back?
Oh, John, I would have. Oh man, I would troll John so hard. Like, but like they do great work. There's so many others that do like Steven Totilo, great game file, does great work. Jason Schreier, better work. He's one of the best in the business for a reason. He just works for a giant company. But if he went on his own, he'd be fine. But it's one of those like it's just so. There's so many out there that you should support and like, and including us, and just otherwise it goes away. If you don't support, you don't watch it, it goes away. And then you're left to these AI driven slot machines of putting out reviews that have zero accuracy other than the name of the game.
Yeah. It's interesting times. Like, obviously, like, I'm in a different position to you guys, and you guys rely on me, right, to pay the bills or whatever. But I think as difficult as things are getting now, I think that it is going to lead to some really interesting things from games media, almost like the game industry, right? Like they're going through what they're going through, and we're actually going to see quite a lot of really cool stuff come out of it, even though times are tough right now. And I think equally we will see the same with the gaming media side. I'm always, I'm an ideas guy, which is to the detriment of you guys sometimes, like the showcase, for example. Like we just came up with that on a whim, and now we're 3 weeks in and we're full force, and Mike's in back-to-back meetings, which is all well and good. But I think it's going to lead to some exciting times. But I think for the immediate future, yeah, I mean, if you've got your favorite outlet out there, then you should support it. With us, obviously, we don't have the Patreon and stuff like that. We've got the Insider Gaming app, which I think is just, I mean, bit of bias here, but better in a sense, because you get everything that you need in the palm of your hands, essentially, and you also get some additional stuff. We've got games, which I think is pretty cool for us to do in the industry. We've got this showcase coming up, which I don't think we mentioned this, but we're not charging the developers anything for it, right? Like it's not paid placements or anything like that. We'll be relying on sponsors for that. And if you are a publisher and a developer even, and you've got funds, please, I mean, this is going to sound like begging or whatever, but please do consider media outlets for your marketing spend as well. I think that there is quite a big missed opportunity. Obviously, we're not where we were 10 to 15 years ago, when you can do a website takeover for 20 grand a day or whatever. But I think if that's revisited, there's a lot of creativity that can be put into the written format, and we can get your game out there just as equally as content creators, in my opinion.
Definitely.
But yeah, that's kind of my ramble on it. Insider Gaming is not going down the AI route. We will continue doing what we do, doing great content, and we're going to diversify as much as we can with a lot of different things. And I'm excited for the future.
Oh, fuzzy.
Jesus.
Oh, no, she would have had him use Copilot, man. Keep it in house.
Yeah, good point. You're right.
Yeah, definitely.
Copilot.
Man.
That one, we didn't touch on that one. That one was a story and a half.
I didn't see that one. What was that one?
Tom Warren at The Verge does great work more often than not, but that one, his article on the change and with Asha and Sarah Bond, like the Sarah Bond thing is still so weird. No one other than Phil in his message.
Has she said anything since?
She's come out and said it.
Yeah.
The one thing she said, Xbox deserves this, was one of the lines.
That's ambiguous.
That's
very ambiguous.
Yeah.
But it just seems like, and obviously you can't read too much between the lines, but we're on a podcast. But it just felt like, the Verge piece felt more like a hit piece on what things are going on. I don't know. It just felt like a case of there's still part of me that feels like this was not all that planned. This move, and it was
Very
maybe
sudden.
planned for the future, but not as quick as it seemed to happen.
Not immediately. Yeah.
But
well, yeah, I mean, the story goes that Phil was going to leave after the next gen console. I think because the financial reports have been quite bad consecutively for like the past 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. That a decision was made higher up, and maybe they thought, let's fast track this thing. But yeah, I don't want to talk about it too much. I feel like it's been talked about to death, but it is all very weird, and we probably will get more come out about it over the year or so.
The next 6 months are going to be really important. Like there were so many people that thought, like, I don't know why they thought something major was going to happen in the first like 2 weeks. Now 6 months, by December or this time next year, we'll have a better idea of what their plans are and what we're going, because who knows, maybe they still try and come to market with their next system because of what it's going to be by next year. I still don't think that happens, but I mean, we're still wondering on what Valve's going to do with theirs at this point. Valve, the Steam machine, like I had said it like countless times. Why hasn't anything been announced? Because they don't know what they want to charge it because of materials and if they can produce enough. And everybody was thinking, like, just saying that's not the case. And then they come out and say, hey, we haven't figured this shit out yet. Like, and that's where everybody, that's where everybody is looking. Like, where's Steam's hardware now, like release dates? What are the pricing? What about the game? And everybody knows what game I'm talking about. Everything is on hold at Valve because they're still trying to figure it out the best way. At the end of the day, they are trying to figure it out the best way to not piss off their constituents.
Which they're going to do regardless.
But it's how can we piss off as few as possible, knowing we're going to make people mad? No matter what. It could come out for free and people would be mad about it.
I reckon, like, the console... well, the PC, I guess, was going to release a lot higher than everyone thought. Then they got all the backlash, and then they thought, shit, let's hold back a minute. Then the RAM stuff started, which would probably put them back in that range anyway. And then they're like, well, we're fucked. We're fucked. Gavin needs to sell his yacht. And
no, he's just going to go off the grid on his yacht.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to do nothing. Man. It's been a week. I'm exhausted. We'll talk about one more thing. We're going to make Tom really happy.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Actually, we're going to talk before we get to that. I want to talk about Last Flag for a minute. Last Flag. I played it in a media preview event last week. I'm working on an article about it. That should be up Monday morning. I played it more during the demo period that it's been on. This game needs to be on more people's radar.
Yeah,
it is so fun. The idea of where you don't even have to be good and get kills or whatever, but because you're just happen to be really good at finding hiding places for the flag, that makes you feel... There's no cooler feeling than when you hide the flag and you go an entire game and the opposing team doesn't even sniff its location. Like it's so fun. It is absolutely a blast. The character abilities are cool. It's got a really cool 1970s vibe to it. And then I was able to play with Mac Reynolds, Dan Reynolds, and then the director of the game, Matthew, in this preview event. And I was actually on Matthew and Dan's team against Mac. And you can tell the passion and the excitement they have behind this game. Like, it brings them back to the feeling what they were saying of playing Capture the Flag at like Boy Scouts. And it's just so good because they take Capture the Flag from games like Call of Duty, Halo and stuff, but actually make it more like the way you played as kids, where you found hiding spots and everything like that.
Hey, Mike.
Yes.
You think Last Flag is cool? Imagine Dragons.
I'm not doing that joke. I know that joke. I make that joke all the time.
Wow. You were building that for ages.
I know.
It entered my brain. I was like, I've got it, man. I've got it.
I love that joke.
Opportunity.
I accidentally made that joke to my wife in front of my kids the one day. And didn't go well. But I'm going to have a full write-up on that, on the experience next week and on Monday. But Ubisoft. We can't go a week without mentioning it. Grant,
Grant's gone. I was going to Grant walking off.
This close, man.
You're so close. But Tom needs to get his fix in. It's like his drug. He's got to say it once per episode at least. So we're seeing more changes at Ubisoft. This time the director of Assassin's Creed Hexa is out the door and gone, Tom. But you say there's not a reason to really be worried.
No, like you said Hexa. I said Hexa.
I've heard it 3 different ways now. Hexa, and Hexy.
Hexa,
yeah.
I'm gonna.
I said Hexa, and then I heard somebody say Hex, and then I was like, right, I'm just going to call it
The German
Hex.
word Hexa, which is pronounced Hexa, which is a German word for witch.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Hexa.
All right, so Mike's
Hexa.
right as always. Brilliant. Right, so Assassin's Creed Hexa. Yeah, I mean, there's not too much to it. I just tweeted a follow up to the change because Clint Hockey, I believe is his name, has left Assassin's Creed Hexa, and he's been replaced by essentially a new Assassin's Creed creative team because obviously Alex Cote left or got fired, but that's probably a story for another day. A couple of months ago. And the entire Assassin's Creed team has been replaced, and people was kind of worried because they liked the thought of Assassin's Creed Hexa. That's my new fair game dollar sign. People liked it. Some people did like it. Some people didn't. It's going to be a very different Assassin's Creed game, and I just said just don't worry about it. Basically. From what I've heard on the game, they are doing some really cool stuff. I know that people are kind of put off by the fact that it's a witch game, but it seems
that's what sells me on it.
It seems like that is kind of the case to a certain degree. But then Ezio comes in, or he was planned to come in halfway through the game and kind of teach her the ways of the assassins and all that kind of stuff. And then probably leans more into a traditional Assassin's Creed title. But I don't like some of the stuff that I've heard of the game, like completely overhauling the combat system. They actually hired contortionists to come in and do the mocap for it. So there's going to be a lot of like acrobatics as well in the combat system and all that kind of stuff. So it just sounds pretty cool to me, honestly. And I said this in the tweet, I believe, but everybody at Ubisoft, especially at Ubisoft Montreal, this is the game that they want to work on. Because obviously it sounds good to everyone. It's probably one of the more safest games at Ubisoft at the moment because it's under Vantage Studios, and yeah, people are just looking forward to it. And then another little tidbit that I'm going to throw in here, not related to Assassin's Creed. This is something that I mentioned, I think it was 5 or 6 weeks ago now, that I said that Ubisoft were not working on, I think I said something like the Watch Dogs franchise is dead or something like that, apart from this Watch Dogs coterie that they've got going on. I've now found out that there is some work being done on the Watch Dog franchise, and that is related to Watch Dogs Legion. So almost like a director's cut, I guess, in a way.
Oh boy! Sorry.
What? No.
Yeah, I don't know why they do it, but there is
when you have a Game of the Year edition of a game that didn't win any Game of the Year awards. It's like,
yeah.
Why are you just making things up? No one does that. We didn't win the game itself when it was came out the first time around.
Yeah, there's going to be some new content in it. I believe there's. I've heard that they might do like a fully night mode version of the game or something like that. And yeah, I don't like. This is what I've heard. Don't shoot the messenger.
No,
but
I'm going to
doing,
shoot the messenger. That's bullshit.
That's bullshit. But they're doing new mocap for it. And yeah, I guess like this is kind of Ubisoft's new thing, I think, is like trying to do director's cuts and new versions of games that they've already done. Like remasters in a sense as well, right? Just kind of doing the low-hanging fruit, I guess, to a certain extent until they get the stuff together with the rest of the company. But yeah, that's what I've heard. Don't shoot the messenger.
I will.
Well, that went down well. So the Watch Dogs game is now cancelled. Jesus Christ.
But what does this all mean for the owner? You know,
why versus Guillemot?
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, there it
You
is.
hadn't said it yet, so.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it means.
I'm interested. It's just someone had brought up in the chat too. When is Ubisoft going to really start pulling back the curtain on all these games? My guess is before the next investors call, we're going to hear a lot because that's their Q4 call. That's when they're going to have they're going to have an update on where things stand because they're going to have the yearly forecast for their fiscal 2027 or fiscal 2027. So we're going to have to figure out, or they're going to have to announce what's going on. So I would assume, just going based on history of how these calls work with studios, that we're going to hear a lot more by then. Or
when is their next one? Is it in early May?
It'll be May, yes.
Yeah. From what I've heard, we'll know about that. They'll announce Assassin's Creed Black Flag by then, at least. So that'll be like one major game that they'll put in the forecasts. I don't like these seven games that they delayed? That includes like Far Cry, Ghost Recon, Assassin's Creed Hexe is looking like a 2027 holiday release now. At the earliest, Yves Guillemot said that Far Cry 7 had good ideas and stuff. That game is like a complete mess from what I've heard. So that's a couple of years away. The Extraction Far Cry game, again, a couple of years away. They redid that last year. Ghost Recon Over and Splinter Cell Remake. Splinter Cell Remake, I've heard, is quite a while away. Ghost Recon, maybe like one of the earlier ones, but I don't know. I feel like this year is going to be a low year for Ubisoft, apart from Black Flag,
which it was the complete opposite feeling 3 months ago.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's one of those like weird things, right? Where it's like, well, if they've come to the conclusion that those games needed to be delayed, surely that's a good thing. Like they've actually realized it this time, right? As opposed to the past where they've released half-assed games and games not to the standards of perhaps other publishers out there. So if they've now realized that, which I believe the turning point came with Assassin's Creed Shadows, then I'm all for it. It just means that we're going to have to wait another year, which it is what it is. I mean, listen, GTA 6, end of the year. Nobody's playing anything Ubisoft anyway.
No, you're not wrong. You're not.
Hey, I just said I was playing Avatar.
At the end of the year?
Oh, no, sorry. I mean like now. I mean like right now.
He's talking about when GTA 6 comes out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I missed that bit. Bit.
I'll be playing, GTA 6 comes out in November? I'll be playing...
I do love how Devolver Digital is still committed to releasing a game when GTA 6 releases.
Because they know people are going to buy it anyway. Devolver can do no wrong in the eyes of indie game fans.
Yeah. I wonder what it'll be, though.
Them and it's great. It's great what they're doing. But that's where we have to start saying goodbye and bidding you adieu. For the latest gaming news, you can find anywhere, insider-gaming.com, or download the free Insider Gaming app on iOS and Android. Sign up, create an account today. It's
Become
great.
Premium.
Become premium, yes, and help support. You get custom news feeds, custom notifications. Discord, a private Discord channel to talk with the people. By people, I mean other premium members and us. Premium Plus, you get exclusive shows like Lords After Dark. I do that. Yeah. I feel like Cog would appreciate his impersonation there. The impression there.
That was fucking horrible, man.
What
was
Lords
that?
After Dark. That's what he does every time.
That was a little bit better.
Yeah,
but the first one
what?
was like he was on helium.
All right, I'm done. You got access granted with the guy who's just staring into a screen instead, like
This way.
not paying attention at all.
Access Grant is the #1 show on the Insider Gaming app. You need to get access to this thing.
When's
killer appearances, man?
The Luke Dale one just went yesterday for everybody.
Where's Straw and Order, mate?
Straw and Order. Yeah, I'm doing a showcase now. You know what?
Surely he can squeeze an hour in a week.
But
Come on,
totally. We had Luke Dale go up yesterday publicly, which people can see. That guy is absolutely fantastic.
And he shared it too as well. So good.
Yeah, man, he loved it. Him and Tom Dale. That's a mesh of the two of them. Well, you have Hansry, him and Tom Mackay, fantastic folks. So if you like Kingdom Come, that's a cert watch. And then we have, when's Abu? Next week. Abubakar Salim, who Surgeon Studios, they just announced a really cool platformer extraction game called Fix Force. Nice. It looks absolutely hilarious. And then next, can I say the next one we've got?
You could say whatever you want. It's your show, damn it.
The next one we've got is one of the most legendary video game writers in the world, Chris Avallone. And KOTOR fans.
What am I talking about? Abubakar went last week.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. My bad. But we got Chris Avallone coming up next. And that's going to be really, really great. Fallout fans, KOTOR, this guy has penned some of the most.
No, we will say he might come with some controversy this time around after his comments last week on the Twitter. So just, this was recorded before that went live.
That's what we like it for, man. That's what we like it for.
Yeah.
Get some
likes the spicy guests.
Get some hot takes and things, man.
You can find Insider Gaming on social media everywhere. Just search for Insider Gaming. We are on Twitter, Blue Sky, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, the Talk of Tick. All of those places you can find us. You can find Tom. Look for the snowmobile. Grant is at @newcov_AP at the weekly wrap up. Myself, Mike Straw Media, and AP. I know you're sick, but you still got it in you. Take it away.
I still got it in me. Yeah, I was on a struggle bus this week, guys, but thank you so much for holding it down for Grant, Mike, and Tom. I am, as always, your host with the most dates at the P. Albert Perkins. We will see you on the inside.